Yep, today we're working on the caliper installation. You can see I've got drilled these rotors, put some screws in so they stay right in place. Don't have to worry about them flopping around if I take off the lug bolts or eventually lug nuts. Yeah, I've got the 1/2-inch fine thread flat bolts in there that I replaced because of the distance that the rotor is to the mounting surface. Those are a stronger bolt that was in there from the factory, so should be good. Next thing is getting the caliper figured out. I've got here is the 2000, I think it's 2000 to 2005 Dodge twin piston caliper. Put that in there. Get a little air to it. That'll hold it in place. That is roughly where that brake caliper is going to go. I found that it has to be rotated up to get all the clearance I need for the full amount of steering in each direction. I figured out the setback it needs to be, so that'll be all right, so nothing will hit on that. The first thing I did was drop some patterns on some cardboard. This is the first one. That basically bolted onto the back side of this caliper without hitting, so it allowed for any wear. And I had to do some experimenting. With another piece here that would bolt on at the bottom. That one looked like it would work with a longer, wider, bigger piece of cardboard here. So my second try with this piece here. That got me up there more in where I needed to be. Getting that caliper kicked up so it's clearing everything, able to turn back and forth. After that one, I came up with my final one. This one came up, bolted on here, and it does bolt on here when everything's all where it's supposed to be. This caliper right now, I've got it a little bit further into the wheel than it's supposed to sit. This one up here, turns out it lines up in that area with this 2-inch radius. And what I made was a puck that drops right down into that. And I made another piece that comes down, bolts onto the two mounting surfaces where the brake cylinder bolted, and then bolts through on that one. I transferred that into steel. That's this piece right here. Down like that. Couple nuts. I'm not putting lock washers on these or the right length bolts right now because I know I'm going to have to take it apart a few times. Goes up there. Plug this up. I'm going to pull this caliper back off from here. I made another steel prototype. I just wanted something that would give me a little stiffness, but I knew it wasn't going to be exactly right. That goes on there. That goes on right there. I'm going to end up having this cut out of 3/8 plate, which should give it substantial strength. It'll either be water jet or laser cut or possibly plasma cut. There's a few different options the company I'm dealing with uses. That's how that fits on there. And then that's how that all fits. All turns fully, not hitting on anything. May need a little more fine tuning once I get this made out of 3/8. May do a little bit of changing on it when I draw it up in my AutoCAD. And the very next thing is release that brake. This is the factory artillery wheel, they call it. Not sure exactly why they do call it artillery wheel. I don't know if it's because of the holes in it or what it is. I'm glad they found out that lug nuts were a lot easier than lug bolts. I'm not sure how long it took them to figure that out. There we go. Got 1934 wheel and front suspension with 87 rotor and 2000 to 2005 brake caliper. Getting my steel template designed out on the AutoCAD, and I can send it off to the company that will be doing the cutting on the final bracket. Okay, sent off my drawings on Thursday, holiday weekend. Parts arrived on Wednesday. Let's see how they did. Yes, very nice. Now we'll just see how they fit. I'm pretty happy with what they've done so far. There's this upper one. It sits in, this rides right where the standard brake cylinder ran. So it's kind of retained in the same way. I'm not putting this together permanently because I do have to take it apart. I'm not putting any lock washers on it. I'm not using the grade 8 bolts that should be used here. But when it's done for the final time, I will have all grade 8 hardware in it. This lower bolt's been changed to a flathead Allen bolt to give some clearance on this brake rotor. Rotor's off a 87 Dodge Dakota 4-wheel drive. That bracket's made out of 3/8 steel. Pretty standard for disc brakes. Setups that have been made. This disc brake caliper is a twin piston made for 2000 to 2005 Dodge. Variety of different models, from half tons down. Probably wouldn't need a twin piston with a stock engine and still would work better than original. That has full amount of steering. That's pretty good. That almost 100-year-old shock absorber still works. These are factory artillery wheels. I think they're a little newer than 34, from what I've been told. I don't know for sure, but that's just what another fellow told me. Because the hubcaps on these are a little bigger than, or the hubcaps that would fit are a little bigger than what 34 had. I will be changing these over to wheel studs from these bolts. For some reason, I'm used to them having left and right hand threads on these old Mopars. This one has all right hand threads on all the hubs. Don't know if that was something they did in 34 or if they've been swapped out. There we go. Clears the caliper, turns, should be all good. If anybody's interested in any of these brackets, just leave me a message. If there's an interest, I can look into making some up and selling them. Tell you where to buy all the parts that I bought. If you enjoy my video, give them a like. And if you want to, you can follow me on YouTube.